am the king!
Dracarys.
What's up, Headless Horde? Welcome back. Thursday night, Mando, episode 4. Misa, think you like this one? That's what Ryan Milky says in the chat. Interesting episode. Interesting season. I think we have a lot to kind of dive into here. I'm not quite sure where they're headed with this show right now. It's really, really interesting what they're doing. The episode was fine. It was short, but if this was what they were trying to do in this episode, and this is all like I just feel like, why not spend the entire episode on Order 66? Why can't we see the whole continuation? Like, are they just teasing for, I guess, more coming down, the next episodes? Because like last week we get Pershing for 35 minutes. Here we get what everyone wants to see for 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Charles was happy. He got to see Jar Jar. We'll deep dive into that too. That's I wasn't sure if I liked that much. Anyways, before we get going, let me bring on my co-host here. I'm bringing on Ryan, and then we're gonna really deep dive into this. So I'm gonna try not to get copyrighted. I'm gonna try to show just quick shots of some of the images. I'm not gonna be able to play anything because it was a mess last week, and then we know what happened in episode 2. So, all right, what's up, Brian Milky? How are you?
How you doing? I'm doing good, buddy. Chilling.
So, we're halfway through the season. I'm not really sure what we're doing. I went into the season thinking that most of this was going to be about, him cleansing and going to Mandalore. I figured that would be like a 2 or 3 episode arc. It was like 25 minutes, and we got to see the spider robot. I mean, it definitely was not the way I thought it was going. I don't know, man. I mean, how did you think about this episode? I mean, what did you feel about this?
I actually really liked it. It was different. It was very different compared to last week. The contrasting 2 episodes are very different. And you can tell that Star Wars and the way that they move forward with these shows, they definitely like to tell these stories in tiny little arcs. And I think that this one might be the start of a new arc, But they haven't finished and tied up the pretty little bow on some of the others. Like I would have liked to have known if Pershing was dead or alive this week. Maybe that would have been nice to just see a single shot.
Yeah,
But hey, we didn't see that.
Like I told you last week, I really don't think we'll see Pershing again to episode 8. I mean, heck, we may not even get him in episode 8.
Is it 10 this season?
It's only 8.
It's only 8 episodes.
It's only 8 episodes. That's what I'm saying. We're halfway done, and I just
Wow.
don't. I'm just not sure what are we even watching at this point. Like, do we need a whole episode? Like them going to chase some dragon dinosaur beast?
I'm not going to get complaints from me with dragons in Mandalorian.
Well, right, but I mean, I don't know, man.
I get what you're saying, though. As a Star Wars fan and looking at it with Star Wars goggles on, it's a little bit out there. It doesn't really go with the storyline that we're expecting it to go like. You very briefly touched on the cleansing of, Din Djarin, because he's been walking around without his helmet on, being a naughty boy, and now he seems to have done all that, and it just seems to be like stage 1 of this whole mission that he's doing. I don't know. It was very quick and it was very unexpected. I haven't seen any Mandalore. I've been excited to see Mandalore and I haven't seen any.
I know. I mean, like I said, we saw a couple wide shots of it, and then we saw a cave with water. I mean, that's basically all we've seen. And a big spider beast that just happened to be living there. But I just think that I don't even know what to think about it. Like, I think back to season 2. Like, season 1 was a nice setup season. Like, it was good. There were some good episodes. It was definitely art at the front end and the back end, where the middle was almost a little bit of filler. Maybe except for now at this point, because we know what Boba was alive and Fennec Shand was a bigger piece. But then season 2 just seemed to be like one consistent storyline of and they kind of met Bo-Katan, and they had that interaction early, and then we got to see them fight together, and then she kind of goes away for like 5 episodes. But at
Yeah.
least we have the Ahsoka, and we kind of lead it into like her trying to help him find basically Luke. And I just felt like the story was consistent. This is just so weird. It's so weird because again, I coming into the season, I thought that we were going to be basically the whole season was going to be almost trying to cleanse, and then some type of. I figured there was going to be some type of conflict between, the armor and all that, and like this episode shows them almost like all hunky dory, and we're all best friends again. It's weird.
Yeah, at the beginning of this, I don't know much about Bo-Katan because I haven't watched the shows that she's primarily in. But at the beginning of this series and having just a little bit of snippets on the internet, I didn't trust Bo-Katan as a character in this storyline.
Mm-hmm.
But they're doing what HBO usually do to me. They're making me fall in love with the character because I'm actually my favorite character in this show at the moment is Bo-Katan.
Yeah,
she is overhauling Din Djarin for me.
Again, another episode with Din Djarin. I don't think he says more than 30 words in the entire episode. Like
this is
it's just, yeah. I mean, that's like the only thing he says anymore. And good job, kid.
Yeah.
It's
just a very strange one, but I don't know where they're going with it. I hope that they pay it off at the end. I still believe and I still have hope that I shouldn't trust Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
She at the end of it. We'll get to. I don't want to talk too much and break down what we're going to get to later by talking about the episode.
Yeah. I guess I don't know.
I liked it. It was a good episode. I don't want to be negative on it. It was a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be negative either, and because there's enough negativity out there with this episode, ever seen as it is. There's definitely positivity as well. I just don't understand the season. It's just weird. Like this whole season, we're just training Grogu now to become a Mandalorian. Then he spends time with the armor, and that was fine. And then that gets us the the little. Oh, thanks, Charles. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, thanks to all the new subs. Appreciate you guys. Definitely 600. Long time coming. Now we're on our way to 1,000.
We've now got the high ground. Now you have the high ground, master. Yeah, congratulations, dude. It was amazing. But yeah, back to Mandalorian. I don't know. It's just. I definitely understand where you're coming from, and I've seen the criticism online for this episode, and I've also seen the love for this episode. And the scales are kind of still tipped, but they're going to be with quite a controversial character that I'm sure we're going to speak about very soon. But yeah, it was a good one. I liked it. It's definitely in the high 6 or 7 for me, but I'll definitely give you a score later on.
All right, so let's do this. Let me see if I can get an image on here because I'm curious to see what you thought about this. So we start off the episode. They're kind of like they're outside that cave where they've been living or whatever, and so we see Grogu trying to eat like crabs or something. That again another funny little thing with him, but it's almost like they do it every episode. It's almost kind of like, can we do something else now? Like it's almost like the same thing. I mean, we saw the eggs, we've seen the cookies. We've seen him do this so many times. I'm like, it's still cute, but like, I don't know, dude. Like, there was something with him when he picked up the crab. The CGI was awful for me. I thought it looked terrible.
Okay, I need to go back and check it. I wasn't paying that much attention.
Yeah, because then again, after watching it twice, I really paid attention the second time. I'm like, man, it just didn't look right. And even when it's some of the scenes when the Mandalorians were coming down from their jetpacks. Dude, it just looks like they're literally you just know like they're just hanging from a wire and they're just like taking a couple steps. And it's just the way they come into the screen. It just made it seem so small. Like I was getting Kenobi vibes again, like where it just was small. Where I always thought, like when I watched Mandalorian the first couple of seasons, I always thought it was like a huge universe. And now even in this season, we really haven't seen anything but like a little bit of water and sand. I don't know, man. I guess I'm getting frustrated a little bit with it because I want to like Coruscant. That was awesome to see that, right? But again, it was like a 5-minute little scene and that was it. That's all we got.
No. I want to say hi to everybody in the chat as well before we get deep into literally breaking this episode down. Hi everybody that's been here. Thank you for being here tonight, and we appreciate you all being here. I know everyone's chatting in the chat, which is great to see. Regards the start, especially with this, like I couldn't really. agree with you with what you just said, because for me, this episode alone, I don't know, maybe I'm just appealed by the wide shots as I always have been, but this episode for me, I was questioning whether this was on set or whether this was all in the green room thing that they make it all up, because it looked to me like this could have been on a beach somewhere. It looked real.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they were on some type of beach, or there were some. I don't think. I mean, because they were shooting.
I didn't get any. Yeah, I didn't get any. What I'm trying to say is I didn't get any negative like shots of like.
I don't
Oh,
know. I
that's
just
bad. You know.
as we're going through the episode, I'll see if I can stop. It's just like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
one scene, like where I see Din Djarin coming flying down when when they're chasing the bird or the dinosaur thing, whatever. I just the way he comes down from the screen and goes boom, boom, boom. It's like he's just walking, and like I don't know. It just seems so small scale for me. I don't
Okay.
know. I'm not used to seeing those kind of.
No, I will watch it back and I'll have those
Yeah.
those notes in my head and see if I can point it out.
But I
No
mean,
worries, empty.
I'll be completely honest with you. After I watched this last night, I hated this episode. I absolutely hated it. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was the way they did Order 66. I thought it was horrible. I still don't love what they've done, and I'll give you a little more backstory on on the character that we see. But after watching it again, I did like it more, but I still think it's the weakest episode of the season.
Oh,
Yeah,
ouch.
yeah.
Could not agree with you at all. I am. It's one of the strongest ones for me. I loved it.
Wow. Okay.
It's probably first. Second would be the one where we see the mythosaur.
Yeah.
Third would be the first episode, and fourth would be last week with Dr. Pershing.
Yeah, I think episode 2 for sure is the best one, and I still don't think it was great. Just because, again, I mean, the mythosaur was the best part, but like basically, it's just like he gets captured, Grogu leaves, and I don't know. It's just I don't know, man. I'm a little.
And I think you're disappointed with the Order 66 stuff, but that's always going to be the case because that's basically Star Wars' breadcrumbs. They know exactly that's exactly what the core fan base want, and they're just going to drip feed you like Marvel did with the Thanos thing, even with movies after it like Ant-Man and the Wasp. Sorry for spoilers, but at the end of it things happen there and you get reminded of the click, and that's what Star Wars are doing now. They're in that, they're using this Order 66 as a remembering device to say, hey, remember this that happened. And it'd be cool to try and figure it. For me, watching those scenes, I was like, so right now Anakin's slaying kids.
Yeah.
I was doing that in my head, and I was like, okay, this is cool to have that extra bit added.
And I understand that part of it is that people who are who are deep into Star Wars lore and that kind of stuff, and even content creators, we make up these huge ideas in our head all the time. And I think this is where the sequel trilogy really failed, especially Last Jedi, because you had years to come up with ideas of how to of what's going to happen. Why is Luke on this planet by himself? And what's going to happen when you see Rey hand him the lightsaber, and they kind of cut the black there almost. And it's like we have years. I guess we had a year, but to come up with all these different theories, and then when you see what happens, I think you're just so disappointed because we come up with what we think are better ideas that link to more of the lore, and when we see what happened, it has absolutely nothing to do with that. And that's the feeling I did get with this. I'm like, because again, we've come up with different theories, and who saved them? Ahsoka. Well, did Ahsoka really? Because how could she have? Because it didn't make sense because she didn't even remember him when she met him. So that wouldn't have made sense. Well, maybe it was a Palpatine saying you can kill everybody, but you can't kill this guy. It wasn't that. Was it Mace Windu possibly? And then you kind of see what you get, and I was just like, this is dumb. Like I hated it. I absolutely hated it.
But anyway, so I know we haven't got to that point in the episode yet, but going up that lift, what would have made this an absolute screamer of an episode? Who would have opened that door? Mace?
I mean, it would have been awesome, right? I mean, I think that would have been your best case scenario, because everyone's wondering, is Mace still alive? And to have them finally say, yeah, he's here, and maybe he comes all like just fried up on one side of the face. Maybe maybe he's lost an arm. I mean, who knows? Well, actually, he did lose an arm. But I think that would have been pretty cool. I did not think that was going to happen. I didn't go into the episode thinking that, but that would probably been for me, probably been the number one thing they could have done. After that, I don't know. I mean, honestly, dude, it would have been really, really awesome if it was Cal Kestis. I would have loved for them. I would love for them to bring Cal Kestis into lore. I mean, he's in lore, but into live action. I think that would have been awesome. Because he's, technically, I guess right now he is still around. So, I don't know. I mean, again, I don't know. I would have to look at the actual time frame and see, how old he would be and all that kind of stuff. But maybe even if he was younger, maybe he was a youngling, and maybe. So I don't know, something like that. But to bring in some guy who already plays another character in the series, and to just say, oh, by the way, there's this new Jedi nobody knows about. I think that's what the biggest problem was. I think fans want people. I think fans want kids, or not kids, but fans want Star Wars and Disney to link stuff together. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think that's what we earned for, is that we want everything to be kind of connected, and because we really haven't gone out on a limb on anything. I mean, even Rogue One, even though we get new characters, we're still seeing characters from Clone Wars. We still got Darth Vader in there. We still see Grand Moff Tarkin. So I don't know. I mean,
Quick Draw says Cal was a little boy when Order 66 happened, and he wasn't at the temple.
So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I wasn't. But again, I mean, so where was he at? Like, I can't remember how the video game starts. I can't remember how far after Order 66 it is.
I'm not sure. Robbie says you said it. It was just some guy. I disagree with it. I know in the as a Jedi, it's just some guy.
Yeah.
But it's not. If and I don't even know if we've said it now. But that guy played Jar Jar. That guy did the motion capture and the voice for Jar Jar Binks. If you see the behind the scenes footage, I remember a very funny episode of him on the desk. There's Ewan McGregor and there's Qui-Gon Jinn. I can't remember his name, and they're there, and he's eating at the table, and it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen as a behind the scenes thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, he didn't get much credit for it, did he? Everybody after the prequels hated on Jar Jar, and his career didn't go very far. Just like the little kid who played Anakin, his career didn't really skyrocket after it because a lot of people hated him as well. And I don't know. I just think it was in a way a way of saying thank you to that guy. And I like the guy. I think he looked badass, to be honest. Yeah, what he did was cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's no disrespect. I'm at best. Like, if I can get this guy's autograph on a Jar Jar pop, I'm doing it, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've been talking to Umpty about this actually, in chat, and I mean, it's just. I just think that to have just like Robbie said, just some guy, some random Jedi that no one ever knew about, to save what right now is basically the future of Star Wars, in Grogu. I just think I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if we see him again. I don't know. Maybe we see him again. Maybe he becomes a fan favorite. You don't know.
I don't think the story's finished yet. Like,
yeah,
I think the stuff's going. I like the little connections that we had. Jar Jar's ship was the Nubian silver thing from the prequels, and I just liked it. I'm also glad that they didn't give us like some off the cuff comment like they did last week with "It's a trap," because it really pulled me out of that world. Imagine if he'd have said to Grogu traveling through the city, "Misa, save you." Just if that's the one thing he said. He opened his pod and he looks at him and goes, "Misa, save you." And then they go, "Pew!" It would have took me out of that,
Well, maybe. But then if you would have said that, maybe it could have been like Dark Jar Jar. Maybe we could have got. Maybe Jar Jar was just a masked character all along, and he's the.
And he put himself into a dark. Yeah, and
maybe he's taking him to Palpatine. There we go. Let's go. Now we have a story. Let me say real quick. Let me say here in the chat. I kind of went off on a little tantrum there. What's going on? Or hashtag early squad. What's up, Charles? What's up, quick? Yes, hashtag on time squad for a change. Look at that. Christina Payne. Blaze, I know you'll come back and watch it when you're done watching. I feel like we give him enough time. He never watches it. We give him almost 2 days.
I think he's waiting for it to binge. I know a lot of people like to binge the way, you know.
What's up, Kitty?
Hey, Kitty.
Did you see her video today?
I didn't. I haven't been on YouTube most of the day.
Yeah, so she is she's doing a auction, I think Saturday, and she's going to be auctioning off some of her work. And one of them, dude, is a dragon. It's pretty cool, but you gotta check it out. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Yeah. I made a comment. It's a pretty funny comment. What's up, Kate? How you doing, buddy?
Okay, Pop, check out his new T-shirt. He just released a new T-shirt for pre-order, so check out that.
Umpty in the house.
Umpty.
Haven't watched it. Just liking and heading off. Okay. Yeah, come back and watch it. And then we got Robbie in the house. So yeah, and then we see Bravo came in. How you doing, buddy? How you doing? All right, so I'm gonna try to do this without getting copyrighted. So we're gonna do little quick scenes. So we start the episode off and we see like a bunch of training going on with these foundlings of Mandalorian and Bo-Katan. I did like this. I liked how they had Bo-Katan. She was kind of walking down and kind of looking, so we almost see it as her point of view, which I really liked. That was her point of view, because I do like that we're getting more Bo-Katan this season. That is the one thing I do like. She was very underutilized in season 2. I know we just kind of met her and brought her in, but I loved how she's basically been in every episode, even if it's just a second, but at least every episode. But then we see Din Djarin. He goes over and grabs Grogu and says, "You need to come train too." And we get this little shot here after he starts fighting. So we get to that, right? So what did you think about the Jedi flips?
Dude, first of all, where did they find a wristlet that fit Grogu?
You can tell it's so much smaller.
I'm like, okay, so they've got one already made for Grogu, this weird, strange species that they don't know. It's like you go to the shoe store and you put your foot on that magical rack and it tells you what size you are. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
The kid is Jimmy Kimmel's nephew. Okay, I didn't know that. Thank you for that information.
So the kid that was taken.
Yeah, so that's Paz Vizsla's son. The boy that was taken is Paz Vizsla's son.
Oh, okay.
So that's Jimmy Kimmel's nephew. Okay, Andrew. Awesome. So yeah, I don't know. The wristlet was funny.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know why the kid didn't just fire all 3 at once. Like, I get that you're trying to tell a story, but come on, in real life, you're not just going to go one.
Yeah, I was like, I kept thinking it was like it was Daniel LaRusso versus Johnny Lawrence in the tournament. Like 1 point for Johnny. Yeah. Like I'm like, dude, just fire all 3 of them, dude. What are you doing?
Yeah.
There was.
I loved it, and obviously, as soon as Din said to him, "I've seen what you can do. Show them." He does, which is cool. The flips are cool. I don't know, too Yoda-ish, but he's Yoda. He's a Yoda species, so he's going to do that kind of stuff. But we just don't know anything about the Yoda species, and it's just, for me, it feels like they're trying to remind me too much of Yoda and not the species that he is. Because all we have to reference is Yoda.
Yeah, I almost would have liked it better if he would have because I mean the kid does shoot and he jumps and the kid misses, and maybe I guess. Like I was trying to think, like, why is he jumping behind him, and then why is he jumping back? Like, if you're gonna just jump and you have the dart miss, why isn't it just jump straight up and come back down and then fire? Why we gotta do the big flip? I don't know, but it was fine. I mean, it was. I still like it better than CGI. So
Cletus Woods came in the chat and says, "Throw stand in his face and sweep the leg."
That's right, exactly right. Sweep the leg. Get my body back. But it was
I don't know. It was a cool little fun thing. It made me smile. It would have made all of the, doting people that love Grogu go, "Oh," at that moment. That's what they're going for. So I think they got it.
Yeah, it was fine. It's they had to show.
Kills the kid. Doesn't kill the kid. He beats the kid in the training fight, and the kid decides that he's had enough and wants to go walk onto the edge of the cliff, and I don't know why.
Okay, so he beats the kid, and he victory, and good job, kid. and then we get this sweet scene right here. Again, I can only leave these up there for like a second or two, so I'm gonna flash it. But so we get this. So we get Drogon coming down.
I don't like the name.
Big
They were
Drogon.
winged raptors, and I was like, you could have just called it a bloody dragon.
Yeah.
Why did you have to take it out of that lore and give it a
Well,
dinosaur name?
And what you can see too is like his hands were like like into his like wings. So it's like that.
Yeah, it's like a raptor pterodactyl.
Yeah. So we get the foundling gets taken, and then they all take off in their jetpacks. And unlike me, I make sure I charge my car fully. They obviously didn't charge those. They didn't charge their rocket packs very far, because I feel like they went for like a half a mile and they're like, oh, we're done. We can't follow them anymore.
Yeah, Vizsla's like, I ran out of fuel. I was like,
I ran out of fuel. I'm like, what?
Didn't you bring any with you? And Robbie, I love you, buddy. I'm not shitting on your show. I'm just telling you how I see it. Unfortunately, keep people in my show and I'm leaving, says Robbie.
So I'm gonna show you the one scene I'm talking about. I'm probably gonna get copyrighted, but if I like to get rid of one, that's fine. But this is the scene. Okay, so chat. This is gonna be super quick because I can't keep it up. But I do want to. This is the one part I want to play. So again, this is when Din comes out of like the top of the screen, and just watch, dude. It's horrible. Okay, here we go. Ready? It's gonna be quick. Dude, it's awful. Dude, it's so bad. Did you see it?
I did.
Okay,
I didn't notice it live.
It's so bad. It's really bad. I was laughing when I saw that yesterday, and then today I rewound it like 3 times. I'm like, why do they make it look so bad? Like, at least make the guy land like a superhero pose or something. I don't know. It's like comes soiling away. I don't know. It was not good. But
So who was that was landing? Was that Din Djarin?
that was Din Djarin, yeah. He comes out of the corner.
I was gonna say maybe it was somebody that was still learning, but no, that's Din. So Quick George says I guess they couldn't call a AAA, and Cletus says that the rocket packs are made by Ford Motor Company.
Dude, you're making fun of Ford. I've owned Mustangs for 21 years. Oh boy, I don't know. Yeah,
it was still good. It was a good episode. I really did love the chasing the dragon and the one shot where they obviously couldn't catch it. They literally say it always gets away, and I'm thinking to myself, so this has happened before. Why haven't you dealt with this problem already? Like, as we've seen in this show, they seem to be coming up with these happenstance situations that they're having to deal with.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm going to be honest, it's lazy writing and it's bad storytelling. When later on, there's a famous line from Star Wars, there's always a bigger fish. I don't know. It definitely pulled me out of that with some of these scenes.
It's like they didn't know how else to get rid of it. Like they had to. But like you said, this has happened before, so why didn't you take care of it? I mean, you guys are bounty.
Is it making it more family friendly because it gets eaten by something else than seeing it actually killed and blown up?
Yeah, it's not even the fact of that. It's almost like, because why? So why didn't they already kill this beast once, or are there just all these beasts in this area? And like, if that's the case, then why is your base here, and why are you on the beach just letting these letting foundlings get swooped up? It's just a little strange, But anyways, so then we see Bo-Katan's ship come flying by, and that was cool. And then
amazing shot.
Yeah, so she comes flying through, and I need the Lego of that ship. I really, really need it, but I want an updated version. I don't, I want an updated new version of that ship. So I'm hoping. So Lego, I know you're watching. So let's get that thing made. I want I want the deluxe. Like I want like a.
I want it so that the wings can be put up and it can.
Hell yeah.
I don't want it just in fighter mode. I want it to be able to, Yeah,
I want to be able to switch those wings up. Yeah, that's what I'm curious to see about this X-wing. I don't think you can do that. I don't think they pop up on this X-wing Lego set that I have. But yeah, okay. I definitely want a Lego set of that. But so they kind of meet back, and they decide they're all going to go, and they're going to take Bo's ship. And again,
she takes lead.
for the next like after. So basically, they leave. Okay, then we get the armor and Grogu going in back into the cave,
Yeah,
and
she
she's
says you're not ready yet.
right, and she's making him a like a new chest plate almost for the chainmail of the
Yep.
So that was cool. That was neat. A little bit. I thought it was a little big for
Grogu
him.
called a favor in from Frodo and got his mythical vest that he had in the movies. Must have been a prop from the warehouse. And then yeah, she attaches the cool thing on it. I thought it was awesome, and she
Yeah, that
explains a
was
little
cool.
bit. She explains a little bit how all of the Mandalores they come back with these, and they always give a little bit. So it's like the church, giving into the church to pay and all that kind of stuff, and because it's a religion that they follow, that's what they say. And yeah, no, I liked it. It gives back to the younglings, and then the younglings are them. So in my eyes, this episode, the armorer is acknowledging that Grogu's on a path right now. Because at first, she never really acknowledged Grogu. She was telling Din, "This is what you need to do. This is how you're going to go and do it." Now that he's done that and come back, and she's accepted them back into the creed, she's now seems to be taking Grogu and her wing a little bit and saying, "I now accept that you're on the path to becoming a Mandalorian, and these are the things that you need to do." And we're seeing him go through trials, and we're seeing him get in his Beskar. So yeah, I'm excited. I just personally don't want to see him with a helmet because I've seen some concept arts and it just doesn't work for me with the green pointy ears sticking out. And then
Yeah,
no,
the one I saw was all right. The one I saw was kind of. I mean, dude, think of how many more. Okay, let's put it this way. I guarantee he will have a helmet at some point. Now, how long he wears it, I don't know. But dude, think of how many more toys they'll sell. They'll sell all the Grogu toys again, all over again, Funko Pops, whatever, all with the helmet on with the ears sticking out. Guaranteed. You'll probably see by the end of the season. And then, at Christmas time, you'll get bombarded with Grogu with the Mandalorian helmet. Heck, maybe he'll even get the Darksaber in his hand. Like Quick said. Of course, Din can't line property. He can't even wield a Darksaber. Maybe Grogu wields your Darksaber better. So, but
personally, don't think that Grogu will get that far. But that's a story for another day. I think he will. Like he did with Luke, there'll be a moment where he is sat down with the armorer, like he was with Luke, and he'll have the choice. And I personally think that he'll choose no again, and then he'll become the first Mandalorian Jedi, and he'll do both. He'll have a lightsaber and a Darksaber.
Yeah, I don't think. Like I said, I think if they do the helmet thing, he'll probably put it on, wear it for a few minutes, and then that gives them the opportunity to sell toys. Like
the final shot with him riding the Mythosaur with his helmet on, his badass armor.
There you go. Yep, there's your $30 Funko Pop ride, or $35 or whatever they charge nowadays. So, all right, so we'll kind of get into this
Order 66 scene.
Order 66. So
I liked it. There were some good points.
Yeah,
he looks young at the point when she's hammering down the thing. He looks young. I don't know if you made a note of that, but when it comes back, he looks so aged. It's unreal.
Yeah, they definitely made him younger. I mean, again, it was, it's been what, 30, 20, 25, 30, about, about 35 years, right? Is that about right?
Yeah. Yeah, I do mean from the point where he's in the cave watching the armorer do things, and he starts to go into the memory thing that he has. At the point when he's looking at the armorer, he looks younger. And then we have the flashback scene, and when we come back, he looks significantly older in that exact point.
Oh, okay.
So you might notice when you go through it, but he I don't know. Maybe it was because I was watching it in 4K or something.
Okay. I don't know. I'll have to kind of look at that again. All right, so I'll flash a couple quick little screenshots here.
Please.
So we get the one we kind of saw in the trailer. So we get to see this one, which is really cool. Again, why this is what I want to know. I want to know why, because you get like what 7 or 8 clones coming in, and they're just firing down these Jedi. I don't know, dude. Like I don't remember that ever happening. I mean, I know they do it in Revenge of the Sith, but like a lot of it is like 6 or 7 or 8 guns on one Jedi, or it's a sneak attack where they don't really know it's coming. Like, why are these dudes dying so fast? Like,
Yeah,
how are
like
you?
these stormtroopers know what's on the other side of this room, which is strange. Because usually they're accompanying the Jedi and they get the order to execute.
Yeah,
And then it's a whole backstabbing thing because they're believed to be trusted within this thing with the Jedi's, and then they've turned on the Jedi's and killed them.
yeah,
That's how Order 66 in my eyes was so prevalent and so heartbreaking, because it was the people that were literally, the people that you trusted. The Jedi
right,
were trusting the clones and all this stuff, and they turned on them. It was horrible.
yeah.
And for this, I don't get it. I don't get how. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit further down the line from the order being actually ordered, because it does seem to be chaos in the temple and all of the
Yeah.
Jedi's are being killed on sight.
I mean, this is the way I look at this is like I feel like this is probably after Anakin's probably not even in there anymore. He probably left, and these troopers are just kind of coming through and just taking out the
I'm
rest
just
of them.
sweeping, yeah.
Yeah, and just swooping the areas, and they happen to find this locked door, and and I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I don't know if like they knew that Grogu was actually in there. I mean, they really weren't shooting toward him, but he was in his little cart or whatever. So it's good to know he's had that forever. I guess I thought that was something that Mando made for him, but I guess
Yeah,
not.
I'm still waiting for the armorer to make it. I was expecting to see a scene where she was making it for him, because he was
Yeah,
waddling around this episode and wasn't
yeah,
in his little baby chair thing, his floating chair thing. So
yeah,
I don't know. But yeah, no, Order 66 was good. The scenes, again, like I referenced earlier, it's like the Marvel thing. They will always use it to flip back in and get people excited. Like, how long have we been talking about this now? It feels like 6 or 7 months this scene has been
yeah.
in my eyes,
Like I'm just watching, so like I kind of just watched it backstage. So, there's about 4 or 5 in the front, and then the one Jedi gets killed. And it's funny, they don't even, like if you look at the subtitles, they don't even give these guys character names. It literally says Jedi 2, Jedi 3, Jedi 4, because the first one dies. So the other three are 2, 3, 4, and like within like 8 seconds they're all dead. And then the one guy gets killed inside the elevator, and then Grogu goes up or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know. I always thought that Jedi's were like much stronger than that, but maybe not. Maybe they're Padawans
But they were in
still.
the temple and they were still, maybe they were still learning, because we don't
Yeah,
know any of their names or anything like that. But
yeah,
and yeah, we get to the very. That's a perfect scene that you can share.
yeah. So right when the elevator opens, and they really did play this up. The music was intense. Like I couldn't wait to see who was going to open this. And again, I was just super disappointed, but because I didn't even know. Like, and then
I didn't know who it was. I was super disappointed at first. I'll give you that. I was. I was like, "Who's that?"
yeah, so
You know?
here it is when he opens the elevator. Okay, so we see him, and I did a double take, and I'm like, wait a minute, could that be like a young version of Mace Windu, maybe? And then I'm thinking, when that doesn't make any sense because Mesa had already fallen out the window, so that didn't make any sense. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute, I think that's on my best because I've seen him before in person, and I've seen him on like Phantom Menace had like deleted scenes and all that kind of stuff, and in the making of Jar Jar, and so I remember seeing him,
He
and
was
I'm like,
also the
wait.
host on the Jedi training game show.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was going to bring up because
Yeah.
that's basically where they got him from. It's the same
Okay.
character. His name in that game show. So he basically hosted a game show for kids, a Star Wars game show, and his name in the game was actually that was a Kelleron Bach, I think it is, or Beck or something. I think it's Beck.
Okay.
So they basically took his character from this television show for kids
And
and
turned it into canon.
brought him into canon. Yeah, like I don't know that.
So is that again? Is that a love letter to the character? I can only think that that's the reason why Favreau did this, because it's all him, right?
I mean, Dave Filoni wrote this episode, or he
Sorry,
co-wrote
Dave
this
Filoni.
episode.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
why I said Favreau.
yeah. Dave Filoni co-wrote the episode, and Carl Weathers directed it. But I don't know. I mean, I guess it could just be paying homage to him. I guess. I just was disappointed because I'm like I was expecting to see somebody that at least maybe that we like even what's his face who's the Jedi that we thought it might have been
The one that was the teacher of all of the Jedis that was killed in the hologram.
Yeah, yeah, the one I can't remember his name now. We had him on the tier list. Now I'm losing track of his name. Chad, help me out with that. What's the name of the Jedi that we kind of thought it was? We only saw him in the hologram. But again, I would have been okay with it being Jocasta Nu. I thought that would have been cool. I would have been okay with that. Have her help. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll set this wait and see. We'll wait and see. We'll see if they develop this character. Like, I don't know.
I'd like to learn more about him and see, what he's been up to or why he was given that task. Maybe he was just there at the time, but I don't know. It definitely felt like it was planned that he was there waiting for somebody to come up that lift.
Yeah,
and it wasn't just going to be Grogu. Apparently, there was going to be others.
Yeah, if I'll make maybe not so much a prediction, but here's what I think what's going to happen. I really think it was more of a cameo for him for On My Best, and I think if we do get another shot from Order 66, he's going to die just protecting Grogu, and they're not going to even develop the character, and it's just paying homage to him and basically thanking him for being part of Star Wars. I think that's what's going to happen.
And that's lame to you, right?
I hope I'm wrong, but
and that's lame to you, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really lame. Yeah. I would rather have Jocasta Nu do that. At least we know who she was, instead of just some random guy who rescues, the chosen one moving forward for Star Wars. I mean,
and you definitely don't think that they would ever go down the he was Jar Jar all along kind of storyline.
I doubt it. I mean, then you're saying what he was dressed up as a Gungan, and
I'm just saying that it would be a cool way to transition out of it if that was all that they're going to do is just give homage to the character. Like, don't get me wrong, looking from his side in, he must have felt amazing getting to be able to do that kind of stuff because of the stuff that he did as Jar Jar, and then the hate that he received for all that long, and then being able to, redeem himself a little bit and, kill some stormtroopers the way he did. And the whole bike scene was, again, you know what my head does, guys, and I'm going to, sorry for doing this, but it was Harry Potter and Hagrid.
Mm-hmm.
It was the exact scene, copy for copy. They went through the tunnel, they missed the train. It was exactly Hagrid and Harry Potter, but my brain sees these things.
Yeah. That's a good point. I mean, like I said, it was cool to see Coruscant.
It was cool to see Coruscant that they still kept the vibe from the prequels as well. I liked that it still felt prequel-y.
Yeah, which
was cool.
Yeah, the speeder bike thing was all right. Like, it was nothing to like you knew they were gonna get away. Like, it's not like you thought they were gonna get shot. I mean, there's no I don't know. Let's see what Robbie has to say, because I don't know. I'm just talking myself into not liking the episode anymore again. Remember that Grogu had a severely traumatic story between Order 66 and Din Djarin, so dude's gotta die. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I guess if I was a writer, you don't always want to give fans 100% what they want, because you do want to leave some secret to it. But I would have done something like,
what if he got delivered Grogu to Moff?
Why not just have it Jar Jar? Why not just have it Jar Jar to begin with? Just
open that lift door and Jar Jar's there. Meek's here to save you.
I don't know if I would have hated it more, but like maybe we see Jar Jar die, because we never really know what happens to him. Like, again, there's stuff that happens to him in books where he goes into like a deep depression, and nothing. I mean, we never really find out what actually happens, but like maybe he's the one saving Grogu, and maybe at some point he passes them along to, like, I don't even know who would at this point would know him.
I just made a quick prediction there, that what if he delivers Grogu to Moff Gideon? No, to Moff Gideon. To Moff Gideon, and then that connects it to how Moff had hold of him in the beginning.
I don't know. So you think? I mean, I guess it would connect it.
Could have had him for a while.
35 years, and he never got the blood. I don't know. I mean,
I have no idea, dude. I have no idea. They definitely need to connect some stuff. If anything, they've given us more questions than answers. So they've given us more questions than they have answers.
Yeah, I think that people I think people are right with you on that. I think that's why I've seen a lot of I think everyone's kind of expecting some type of answer, and then we just get more questions now because we don't know where he took off to. We don't know, you know, like you said, how Moff even gets them. I mean, how many backflashes and all that kind of stuff can we get?
Welcome in, Tel Talks. Thanks for being everybody. He says, hey chaps, personally a bit underwhelming with Who Saved Grogu. Happy for Ahmed Best, but the overall mystery of Who Saved Grogu was more interesting than the actual outcome of it.
I couldn't agree.
Good point.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, that's basically what I've been saying for the last 20 minutes. Like, I just wish it was something different. Like I said, I'm happy for him. I'm glad he was able to come back, but I would almost rather have been Jar Jar because at least we know the character. And then maybe that's a good way. It's a nice redemption arc because really, honestly, again, we talked about this when we broke down the movies. I mean, Jar Jar was manipulated so badly by Palpatine. Like, I mean, Jar Jar's the one who gave him the emergency power, and that basically screwed everything up.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
maybe you should do a video for who did it better, Headless or Star Wars, and you can open the lift and Jar Jar be there instead of Ahmed.
I need to hire an editor for that because I don't know if I can do it. I'm not that good.
Okay.
I'm not good at taking those 3D characters out like that and putting them into backgrounds, and that would take me way too long.
Okay. And you'd just be cursing all the way. Why am I doing this?
Why am I doing
Jar Jar?
People that see Jar Jar.
I did live.
Robbie
says I did love Episode 4 way more than Episode 3, but I like Episode 3 more now that I've seen more Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Clone Wars is coming. Clone Wars is coming. The thing we're trying to figure out, since we have 80 guys in here right now, and it's the question that we're trying to figure out is, do we want to do live chats with it, or do we just do videos? Because I don't want to do a live on it if like two people are going to come in and watch and
then never watch it after the fact,
and no one else really wants to watch it. Whereas we make videos, you can always watch them whenever you want. And then the videos also would be edited and cut, and it wouldn't be as long. So I don't know. We're still kind of playing with that.
Papa Majori says, I keep hearing Jar Jar, so I had to come back. And I highlight this comment because I've watched a couple of talk shows on YouTube over the last 24 hours, and I've tuned into maybe 2 or 3 of them. And at the point of tuning in, it's been a heavy Jar Jar conversation on every one of them. So it's quite funny that we're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. The Order 66 was still good. I think maybe 2 videos per season, says Robbie. Oof.
I'm gonna be putting out a video in about it's gonna be after Lexington. So, and then I know we're starting Harry Potter on the 23rd of April. So hope you guys are interested in watching that with us. We're gonna do 2 movies a week, one for Sunday, one for Monday, and that'll be about a month worth. But I'm gonna be dropping a video on how we're gonna actually watch it, because I'm not to sit there and rewatch all 7 seasons, every single episode. It would take forever. So I've kind of come up with a list and doing a little research to see what are the most important episodes. So I'm gonna drop a video. Arcs. Yeah, I'm going to drop a video, and we're going to kind of go through the most important story arcs. So we're not sitting here watching. I mean, there's like 100 and some episodes. So I'm going to try to
just like Headless did with the Star Wars franchise. He said, this is how I would watch it from start to finish. And that's what we went and did. Yeah. It's going to be the same thing with Clone Wars. He's going to say, this is how I would watch the storyline. And then that's what we're going to go and do. But I know that he's basically asking whether you guys would rather prefer it to be on live stream talks like this, or specific videos that are, to the point, very, edited to that as well, so that we don't get off topic. We don't go on tangents.
That's exactly what we're looking at doing. It's probably going to be 2 to 4 episode arcs. That's pretty much what we're talking about. Again, some of the story arcs, even the beginning ones, aren't as important, but for the most part, we'll probably try to stick with those arcs because it kind of makes sense to do that. But there's some standalone episodes as well that we probably would blend in. So like if there's one episode and then we're skipping like 6 to another arc, we probably put those together in a video.
And it's first time watching for me. It's first. I've never seen this show, so that's why we're doing it as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of episodes to rewatch, and this is something I would like to be finished with by July, because in July it's gonna be tough because I'm gonna be I'll be out of town traveling for like 3 weeks doing my SDCC vlog again.
And then I'm getting on a plane in August, so
Yep. So July and August we're definitely gonna have to figure something out, because it's gonna be a little different. Those 2 months are gonna be different for us. I mean, I'm sure we'll still get together at least once a week, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
What's up, PDX?
Hey PDX. Hey Anthony Blaze. I still see you here. Cool. So Order 66 wasn't the best for you in this. You expected more.
I did.
Yeah, you weren't happy with it, which is what I've heard from 90% of the Star Wars community that I've seen online. The spoilers over yet? No, MT. The majority of the spoilers are over. I would say so. We've just done the big
stuff.
one.
The big stuff is over. I mean, the rest of it's not really nothing crazy. So
no. Bo-Katan can't do good for right. She keeps doing all the good stuff that gets her praise. It's like she must be thinking, damn, I'm trying to get behind you guys and backstab you all, but you keep giving me praise.
Arizona, I'll be going through Arizona actually after STCC. So we'll be going through Arizona, and I think so we're leaving, so we're going to Vegas after STCC on the way back. So we'll be driving through Arizona, but it's kind of like the very top, I guess it would be, because then we head right through, I think, what is it, Texas? Is it Texas or New Mexico? It might be New Mexico, actually. I think it's New Mexico. So, like,
guys, can you hit that like button, please? There's only 3 of you hit the like button. There's 9 of you in here. Please hit the like button.
But yeah, I mean, we will be going through them, but we're not like stopping anywhere, because like Arizona is only 4 hours from Vegas. So we'll go like 10 hours on the first path home or whatever. Let's see. So I had this scene pulled up. So this is after Order 66 and all that kind of stuff, and we're kind of back to the present day, I guess, if you will. With the Mandalorians, they're kind of like on the hunt now, and they're waiting to the morning to actually go find this dinosaur beast. And you can see the respect here, because they allow Bo-Katan to actually have the fire. Because remember, when Mandalorians eat, they basically have to eat alone, because they take their helmet off and they don't want anybody to see it. So there you go. So there's a shot here of her eating by the fire. So that was a sign of respect, because she's almost like leading the charge, I guess, if you will. Would you think about
her
that?
Ship, and
Yeah,
I completely agree. It's the right way. They're using her ship. She is leading the charge on this. She went and continued to chase after the dragon after their rockets had run out of fuel, and she was showing she's showing the leadership that she has in her. Obviously, I do believe that. I don't know. She's fallen in love with what they're giving her and all the respect that they're showing her, and I believe that she might lead the free folk in the end, and not be so heavy on power that she might not want the saber anymore. She might just be happy with this being the leader of this group.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens with this helmet thing. I think it's weird. I just think the whole helmet thing is weird, because in Clone Wars you don't really get this, and I know it's mostly focused on her clan, which doesn't believe in this. It's weird. I don't know. Like, I can't take my helmet off around you. Why? Like, why can't?
Because it's to show to enemies that you can't distinguish how many numbers they have in their group. Like, you just see loads of helmets and you assume because like, look, when they were fighting on the beach, like if you go through that scene, there's about 50 people now on the beach. They've gained a lot of people in this thing, so they're building some sort of wall. And you've got all of the ones that abandoned Bo-Katan and flew off into the space. We don't know what they're doing. Where are they? I don't know who they are. I know that you might have more information about them.
Yeah.
And Robbie called it. He said the Mando groups would join forces. You did.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it makes sense when she went in the water. It kind of makes sense. So this is a quick scene. They're just kind of, they can't use their rocket packs or their jet packs.
The dragon will hear.
The dragon will hear, and so they're just climbing. And again, another scene I just thought it looked so fake. I don't know. I didn't love the way it was shot either. But I mean,
Okay.
you got Vizsla. You got this huge ass backpack on. I'm like, bro, take that off. You probably just lost 200 pounds, and now you can climb up there.
Yeah, if there's no
Like,
fuel
get
in
it
it,
later.
why are you slugging it up the mountain if there's no fuel in it?
I know. I thought that was weird, and the way the cords or whatever were I don't know. It just to me it didn't look good. Unfortunately, I just was not a fan of that. But basically, I guess at the end, I mean, there's not much left in this episode.
He uses his heat signature thing on his helmet to see that there's something in the nest, and he thinks it's his son, so he goes Ragnar, which reminded me of Vikings, unfortunately. Shouting for Ragnar, and then it's not. It's these. Yeah, pull that video. Oh, you just had perfect shot of the 3 dragons, the babies.
Yeah, I was trying to pull up the Predator shot.
Yeah, they pull it up, and
oh yeah, there's your Predator shot. There's your Predator
there's a Predator shot.
Yeah,
looked like an actual person. It didn't look like if that was the only heat signature we had. I don't know how we got 3 crazy bald eagled. Oh, there's Drogon.
Yeah, we have Drogon with the 3 babies. I mean, this is not a great. It's hard to get. Yeah, that's good enough. I'll just show that really quick. So there's the babies, and he comes flying.
They look tiny, but I'm sorry, but they look absolutely tiny there. But then when they get out the ship later,
I know these are big. I know. How do they even fit in there? The way they come creeping out of there.
Yeah. So when they were all flying in that ship back, they must have all just been squeezed up like this, like trying to get in. It was crazy. But yeah, they do a crazy scene where the mommy dragon spits out the kid that she stole earlier.
Yeah. So
which is okay.
So I want to talk about that. Adam actually texted me yesterday. When he's like, watch Mando and let me know what you think. Right? I was texting him afterwards, and he's like, hey, can I ask you a question? I'm like, yeah, go ahead, man. He goes, so that the dragon spits him out. He's like, it regurgitates him, and there's no slime, or he's completely dry. And I went back and rewatched it. It's terrible. So is that just Disney? Like, what is that about? How are you completely dry coming out of the guy's stomach or wherever he's being kept? There's no way.
Good point. I didn't make any notice to that.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you're right. He comes out. There's like nothing on him. It's I don't know.
Robbie, they're going to train those pterodactyl dragons, and they're going to be used in the endgame fight.
And Grogu is going to be flying one. And then
Grogu will be riding the mythosaur.
I don't know. I think Bo-Katan might be.
No,
I think no.
No.
Chat, what do you think? Who's on the mythosaur, and who's on the dragon, baby
pterodactyl dragons
or whatever, Viscerin and
pterodactyl dragons? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see, but they're gonna be crazy.
I mean, Grogu's obviously gonna tame them using the Force,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But before we get that, they eventually rescue.
We have a crazy in the air scene where I don't know if it was me or my mind was just taken out of it, but it just didn't seem to fit physics. Like 1 minute they're flying this way with their rockets, and then they would spin and spin and spin, and then fire down to go catch somebody. And then I was like, can these guys just fly like Superman now? or is there a bit where it I actually can't do that? I don't know. It was a bit weird.
They're like falling, and I don't know.
Because Bo-Katan's flying next to the dragon, and she says to the kid, "Take my hand," and then the dragon just whacks it with its wing, and she goes flying down to the water. And then you get the awesome scene where she almost hits the water but comes rocketing back up.
Yep.
I was like, if you're going to do those kind of scenes, you need to give us the payback of like when Anakin's in the pod racer and it's not firing because the thing's not connected, and he has to get it connected before it'll fire again. They could have done things like that with the jetpacks, made it more of a reason that someone could actually get hurt. Bo-Katan on the mythosaur all day, Grogu gets a baby.
That's what I think. But then we get
says Robbie.
They rescue the kid, like we all.
Yeah, they rescue the kid because Disney can't kill kids, obviously.
Well, that's true because that was George who killed the kids. And then we get this scene that basically.
Oh yeah, someone straight from Jurassic.
Always a bigger fish.
Yeah, so
from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, so been there, done that. We've seen that before, It is what it is. It's all right.
With a fish, it was cool, but it was just the only way that they could get rid of it.
Yeah, how else are we gonna get rid of it? They couldn't get rid of it before when this happened the first time or second time or whatever. How many times?
Where was the bigger fish when Grogu was at the sand earlier playing with the crabs? It was right at the water's edge.
Right.
We've seen in the earlier episode that the kid got dragged out by the thing that was at the edge of the water. Then we've seen in this episode the dinosaur came down and grabbed the kid that was near the edge of the water. But Grogu was sat playing with rocks this earlier episode and nothing happened. Is the water dangerous or not? So I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then we bring off the crazy dragons off the ship.
There we go. That's a good shot. This probably be my last shot too. Then, so we got here's the dragon coming off the ship. Look how freaking big they look, dude. So much bigger right there.
What the hell?
So much bigger because like in the Earth scene, like the Vizsla standing like, right next to him. I'm like, yeah, he's bigger, but like in that scene, they look like freaking huge. But,
predictable, so predictable. Yeah, I agree, Robbie.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's fine.
What we're gonna get next week, though, I've seen some trailers. I've seen the trailer, and it's not connecting. They're still giving us scenes from the first episode. They're giving us scenes from stuff we haven't seen yet, and I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, the scene. They really aren't showing it like they do on HBO and that kind of stuff. They don't really show much. It just rehashes of other things we've already seen with maybe one or two little extra things in there. They're just trying to keep everything a secret. It's fine. I've heard that people are saying this was the Ahsoka episode. Well, we were all wrong on that. And now people are saying next week's the Ahsoka episode. Tell me a reason why we need Ahsoka in here right now. For what reason? And
because we're building for the new Ahsoka show. I said that backstage. They put Boba in because we had Book of Boba coming. And Boba was in the Mandalorian show, you know?
Yep.
I think that's what we'll get towards the end. I think it'll be Ahsoka.
I'm trying to figure out, like, where is the story going right now? Like, where are we going next? Like, we still
Kavaro. We've got to see that scene with all of the Mandalorian jumping out of her ship and going onto Kavaro and fighting the Sky Pirates because he said he would come back. The Sky Pirate guy.
So we have to go
in the bar,
guys. So we have to go. Can't we just send over Johnny Depp or something? I mean, it's
Disney don't want him anymore. Remember?
Yeah, right. I don't know. Like, okay, so great. We're gonna go kill some pirates next episode. So it seems like another little mission and no continuation of the story. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just
because season 4, in my eyes, season 4 has already been written. We already know this is a true fact. It just hasn't been filmed yet. And I personally believe that this is all just a setup for season 4. And season 4 will have the big crazy action stuff that we're all going to talk about. Yeah. But season 3 will be pivotal then because we'll be saying, why have we got no backstory to this? And we'll, the answer will be, we'll go watch the 1 hour long Dr. Pershing episode, and that explains a lot,
Mm-hmm.
But I do. Unfortunately, that's not a good storytelling. But this is the first season that they've done where he's had extra footage in mind when he's writing this current one.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I'm just torn right now on this. But that's why I put the poll up on my community tab because I was just like, when I was done watching it, I'm like, I don't even know how I'm feeling about this.
Pull up the poll and show everybody on the stream, see what the results were.
I mean, yeah, I could do that really quick.
I was interested to see some of your stuff that you'd asked the options. I did vote, but and then when I seen the score, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I was expecting it to be a lot more.
There's not a ton of votes on here. Here, let me share my screen.
Should be 7 or 8 votes.
I think there's 8 now. Yeah.
Cool, guys. And if you want to affect this live, if you're in the chat and you haven't already voted, go over to Headless's community page and vote. But make sure you come back here, obviously. So he has here, okay, Mando episode 4. What did you think? Great episode. This is the way. Is this Mandalorian show? What did I just watch? Or need more info? I'll be at your live stream tonight at 8 p.m. EST. I voted great episode. This is the way.
Did you? Okay. I don't know. Like, I just felt like, and 50%, so 4 out of the 8 votes went to the middle one, which I was kind of wondering how people were feeling about this because, again, it seems so just disjointed, I guess. It just doesn't seem like the storyline right now is flowing. And again, we're only halfway through, but I'm disappointed myself just because we haven't even seen Moff Gideon yet. Like, where is he?
So I wanted to ask you this. Okay, so go back to the last week's episode with Pershing, and they were talking about Moff Gideon, weren't they, at that table when they were all eating and talking amongst each other. And one guy said, I heard that he escaped the prison thing. And then the other man next to him said, no, that was just a cover story. I heard that he was put through the laser thing, the laser brain thing, whatever that was called, the mind flayer. Sorry. Yeah, he says, oh, I heard he was put through the mind flayer. And then he looks and talks to this new girl who, in that episode, we later find out is evil, whilst also using the mind flayer.
Right.
So bear with me on this, but fast forward a couple of weeks. What if this new girl mind wiped Moff Gideon also, as well as Pershing, and she's now the leader of all this evil?
But when would she have mind wiped them? Because remember, he got arrested at the end of the last season. He was arrested and he was taken to like a detention camp.
But as the guy said at the table, he escaped from that visit to the detention camp, and then the other guy said, well, that was just a cover story for him actually being in a mind flayer. So I don't know. It was just a theory in my head. I think she might have more to do with it than we think.
Yeah,
in my head anyway.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I mean, again, and this is why we sit here and do this, and I just feel like we come up with better ideas, and then we see what happens on screen, and we're like, ugh, like that's the best they can come up with. I don't know. And these dudes, these little dragon baby things, they remind me of it's like I don't even remember what movie it was. It was like Tremors 3. And it literally looks like they had these little baby tremors that like sometimes they would fly to, and that's exactly what it reminded me of. I'm like looking at it, I'm like, oh, looks like a baby tremor that from like Tremors like 3 or Tremors 4 or something.
Robbie kind of agrees. He goes, so she's the new Moff, maybe. She's hated enough. Yeah.
But she if you hate her that much, and we've seen her like twice or 3 times maybe, and you hate her that much already, that means it's good character development, because she hasn't even been in it that much, and we hate her. Where Moff Gideon, I don't know how I feel about that character. Like, he's fine, he's definitely not.
There's just no backstory to him. I just don't know who he is and what he does, why he's in power.
We get nothing. They don't give us anything, which is odd. Like, why would you not?
Yeah.
Well, maybe next week is the Moff Gideon episode. Maybe we get backstory for him. I don't know.
That's why I kind of put a bit of stock in my own theory there, because she's been by Moff Gideon's side in the previous season, and she's watched all that he did, and she's probably seen how evil he had been. Mm-hmm. And she could have took all that on. She could have took Moff Gideon out the same way that she could have took Pershing out, because we don't know if she did or not. Imagine we cut next week to a hospital lab and they're both just lying there on slabs, just Moff and Pershing, and she's the whole grand master of it. And then who knows, she might go report to, I don't know, throw a name out there, Admiral Thrawn, anyone else, you never know.
Yeah. I mean, Thrawn's obviously going to be the big bad in all this. I'm sure that's going to overarch at some point. It's just interesting. Like, we don't have an antagonist right now. We just don't. Like, we thought it might have been the Armorer, but right now it's not. I mean, she's actually helping Grogu, and
she's behaving. I actually quite like her at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, we're halfway through. We'll see what happens. Hopefully next week we can get some straight fire. Because I did enjoy the first 2 episodes a lot. Last week was just a different type of episode. This week it just felt uneven. It just felt like we really weren't doing anything.
Like, I really enjoyed it. My favorite episode. I love that we contrast differences. So
yeah, I just felt like this episode, imagine if there was no 66 or 66 backstory. Imagine if that wasn't even in this episode. What was the point of this episode? To go kill a dragon. To
see the connection of Bo-Katan getting closer to the Creed and always being accepted, no matter her even trying, because she isn't trying, she's just being accepted with the things that she's doing. We're also got given the training of Grogu, which could be a payoff for later on if he happens to fire a dart. If maybe Din now puts a deadly dart on his neck and he fires a dart. I don't know. Hey, imagine he was because we caught that. I was going to say, imagine he was the guy that fired in Coruscant at that person that got the dart in the neck.
Oh yeah, that was
he's been training and he was like, "Ooh, I'll fire from the window."
Yeah,
but no, they already chased that one off. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I guess as long as we get some payoff with Bo-Katan, I mean, maybe she's just playing them straight playing them, and we'll see what happens. Maybe maybe she ends up turning and she's the bad guy. Maybe right now she's trying to fit herself into this creed, and maybe something will happen with that. I don't know. We'll see.
So before we get out of here, I want the very end scene. We see Bo-Katan talking to the armor, and she tells her, doesn't she? She says, "What would you say if I told you I've seen a mythosaur?" And she goes, "This is the way. Many people have seen the visions of the mythosaur." And she's like, "No, I actually saw a mythosaur." Like, she didn't seem to believe her in my eyes.
Wasn't it weird? It was weird. I thought that was weird. Really strange that she didn't even react to that. So maybe she knew maybe she knew it was down there. I don't know, because I felt like some type of reaction would have been nice there. But
yeah,
I don't know what. So I think last week we both gave that episode 7.5 or something. I think it was like a 7.5. So what would you give this one?
9. So 8 or 9. Yeah, it went up from the start. It was 6 or 7 at the start, and then talking with you and having everybody in the chat help me with the theories and their explanations of things has helped me bump it up. And yeah, last week's episode for me is the worst episode of the show so far, and this one was amazing.
This wasn't the worst episode. It was short. It was one of the shortest episodes, I think. But I mean, I would say
the Pershing episode was the worst episode, not this one.
I still like that because I like the world building in that one. This one I just felt like it was uneven. I guess. I guess I'd give this one like a 6.5.
But you also watched Andor, right? So you would have more understanding as to that last week's episode, because that was crazy last week.
Dude, Andor was just that last week's episode was better than Andor. At least I was interested in those characters.
Yeah, 9 Andor, for me, 9 for Robbie.
Characters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about you guys in the chat? Let us know what you thought. What did you score this episode? I know Charles watched it. I know Robbie B. Poppins watched it. Christina Payne, I think she watched it. She made a reference earlier to the dragons.
Yeah, Robbie gave it a 9. So that's what you said, 9.
Yeah,
I would say 6.5 or 7, somewhere in that range. I would say it's definitely average to below average for me. This episode, again, if it wasn't for the Order 66 stuff, which I didn't even love the way they did it, but at least it was so cool to see it. If it wasn't for that, dude, I would have given this like a 2. I thought the whole plot story, little mini storyline of a foundling getting captured, I thought was dumb. Now, granted, like I said, if we get a nice big payoff with them, because you're right, we definitely see that Bo-Katan is fitting in nicely now, and they're again, I think it happened a little quick, like, oh, let's just let her lead, because it's her ship. But I understand, like, you only have 8 episodes. If you're trying to get to a certain point, I guess you have to speed it along a little bit. But I don't know. I would rather have seen an episode where she gains their trust in a different way than something so weird like this. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But I think that's what it is. I think you're right. I mean, it kind of makes sense that she's gaining their trust. And then I think
without even asking for it, she's not trying to get it; she's just getting it.
Yeah, that's probably the point of the episode, more or less.
I know they kind of clickbaited us with calling it the Foundling, and then the Foundling that we all thought it was Grogu, but it was actually Paz's son. Yeah. Was the episode? It was referencing him in the episode. He was the Foundling, and they kind of did the same thing with Grogu being there as well. But the main plot of the storyline was the kid that got stolen by the dragon. So exactly, Eric. Yeah,
Eric. We talked about
canon. That. I agree. For canon, I agree, but for paying homage to Star Wars and saying thank you to the fans and what happened because of it all, I think it was a nice move.
Yeah, that's true too. They know who her clan is. That's true, Robbie. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, I mean, I guess I hope we see a payoff, because when you have this type of episode, if there's no type of payoff, like a perfect example, season 1. Okay, the episode when we do see the boots at the end of the episode, and we see Fennec Shand, and we think she's dead, right, at the end of the episode, and then at the very, very end, we get those cowboy boots. Like, as long as we get payoff, like we got payoff for that episode, because she came back, it was, ended up being Boba Fett, so we'll see. April 2nd is Pedro Pascal's birthday. April 2nd. When's April 2nd?
Okay, and Eric says, Grand Admiral Thrawn slowly being introduced with those fighters. Yeah, those fighters were the ones that bombed Bo-Katan's castle.
Yep.
And then they were all there, but again, there's no explanation. So I don't know. I'm excited, but I just hope I even know who that guy is by the time I get to see him, because I know he's a Clone Wars guy, or yeah. But I hope I get to see him.
I don't think he's in. Is he in? I don't think he's in Clone Wars. I think he's Rebels, because he's after.
Okay.
Well, Rebels is. Ooh, gosh, is he in Clone Wars at all?
It's not the blue dude, right?
It is. That's who Grand Admiral Thrawn is. Yeah.
So is he the same species as the cowboy blue dude that was in the desert?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think Thrawn is into Clone Wars. I'm pretty sure he's only in. Star Wars. Let's see. Thrawn.
The pirates are very present in Clone Wars, but not that guy.
Okay. So it says during the Clone Wars, Thrawn briefly joined Anakin on a mission that turned out to be beneficial for the Republic. And I think what he is I think it's pronounced Cheese. But now I don't know if this is. I don't know if that was actually in the Clone Wars or if this was in a book.
So Quick says he's in Rebels.
Yeah, I know he's in Rebels. I just wasn't sure if he was like maybe 1 or 2 episodes of Clone Wars. I don't think he is, though. I don't think he was.
Because obviously I can't avoid spoilers, so I know that I hear the name Ezra being thrown around, and I hear the name Admiral Thrawn. And because my friend, my IRL friend, said to me, "How can they introduce Thrawn if they haven't introduced Ezra?" And I was like, "Whoa, who are you talking about?" Because I don't know what you're on about.
Yeah, that's all Rebels. But I think to get the full story of Darth Maul, which I think is really
what I want,
important, and that's what you want to see, is how he comes back and all that kind of stuff. You do have to go through Clone Wars first, and we'll do Rebels. We'll do Rebels afterwards. Rebels we might say Rebels might be more in the fall. Especially if we're not going to get House of the Dragon. I don't know when Rings of Power plans are coming out.
I don't know. I think Ahsoka's November, end of the year.
Yeah, so we would probably have to do it. We would have to do Rebels before that, which we have plenty of time. We will. We'll get it done. Cool. Even if we plan for that September and October even, and that puts us right in, because that way we see it all, and that we Bad Batch. I just don't think it's necessary. I haven't even watched the last 2 episodes, although I did hear this last episode was pretty good. So I don't know. I might watch those tomorrow, but
I watch people do watch alongs for Mandalorian, and then we watch these, and then they also do Bad Batch, and I'm like, I'm tuning out now. I don't want to watch this stuff.
Yeah, Bad Batch. I don't know. I just can't get invested in those characters. I don't know. To me, it's too much of a. There's not many arcs. It's more like standalone episodes. Like there's a little carryover, but not much. And I've gotten out of those kind of shows a long time ago. Like I have no interest in shows that have one storyline and then there's that little tiny carryover, maybe to like a third of the episodes. I just.
Yeah, the only reason I'd probably watch them is if you told me that there was a clutch canon moment that was in it that connected something to the movies or something, I would watch it. But I struggle with animation as it is.
Yeah, the best episode of Bad Batch for me was the very first episode because it connected to Rebels. But it's so small and it's so fast that it ends up not really mattering in the long run. But
yeah, all I know is I'm pushing forward. I want to see what has been dubbed the best lightsaber fight in Star Wars history between Ahsoka and Maul. So I need to get to that and see it. But I want to know the storyline beforehand, before just jumping in and watching something that I'm not fully understanding the reasoning and all of it behind it all. Because I'm sure the emotions and the feeling and the storyline that these two characters are going to bring to this fight is going to have something within the fight that shows,
Yep, and then later in Rebels you get more payoff, which is beautiful too.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. Anything else for the good of the order? Trying to think. So Sunday we're doing the sequel trilogy tier list, and then we'll be done with that. We'll be done with that. I may not have 35 on there. It's gonna be brutal to put 30 or 25 on there. So, but we'll
it's a trap.
It is a trap. But we're gonna get through it. We're gonna see. But there's gonna be arguments. I think it might be the most argumentative one because there's still a few characters I don't mind in the sequels, even though I hate those movies so much. But yeah, that's what we're doing Sunday, and then Monday we're gonna do just a complete review of everything we've done so far on Ryan's channel since he was unable to go live on Monday last week, so we're gonna do that this Monday instead.
Guaranteed, I will not let anybody down. I'll be there Monday, talking about everything that we've already done, everything that we've already talked. You know, we're just gonna break it down, let you guys know what's coming up next. We'll give you the dates. We'll give you, where you'll be able to find us, and we're just gonna have a general chit chat tomorrow on Monday night.
And then I'm
see where it goes.
I'm gonna see what I can do with Warwick Davis at the con. I'm gonna slip him my business card and be like, dude, we broke down every episode of Willow. We're so upset that it's not gonna be there. If there's any chance you'd want to hop on for like even 5 minutes and just kind of talk about it.
Well, yeah, you can tell him that we broke down Willow. We've watched everything Star Wars. We're about to do Harry Potter. Dude, we just love you as a character. Please come on our show.
Yeah, we broke down all your big
all
stuff.
All 3 of your IPs that you're in, we've done. Come talk to us.
And he's also in Leprechaun, in the horror movie Leprechaun. He's the bad guy.
Eric, I don't know if this question is aimed at me and Headless or if this is aimed at Mandalorian.
I don't think so. I really don't. At this point, I mean, it's just they don't do it. It's not like The Last of Us. It's not like Game of Thrones. I just don't think so. Unless
HBO's a different monster. Yeah.
Unless it's like the final episode ever, and they decide not to like do a big movie of all these different IPs. But I think eventually they are going to do it because they're linking everything together.
That's what they're building to. They're building to a thing like Marvel with the Thanos click. They're building to a big crescendo event.
Yeah, I'm still gonna be interested to see if they even bring back Boba Fett for a second season. Like I haven't really heard anything about it. Now this whole David Lindelof thing with him quitting. Now they don't have a director again for the 2025 movie. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
I wish I go to Star Wars Celebration and go to these panels and just see what they're gonna throw together because it's gonna be interesting. I think. I don't know what they're doing, but I don't know.
And I want to say rest in peace to Paul Grant as well, who died very recently. He played R2-D2 in some scenes, and he passed away in England. I think it was last week. So very sad news to hear, but yeah, all of our thoughts and everyone's thoughts will be with his family and stuff. So
yep.
Very very horrible to hear, but will Grogu be riding on one of those baby raptors? Lol.
Baby raptors.
Predictable, probably, but I would like it to be the Mythosaur.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool if Bo-Katan and Grogu and Din are all down in the caves, and we hear rumbling and roars, and we don't know who's going to emerge out. There's 3 of them down there, and we don't know which one it's going to be. And then, the music hits, the sunset comes down, and it's Grogu on a massive monster, tiny little Grogu, in all his chainmail, looking like Frodo.
Do you think we'll see Boba Fett in this season?
No, I think we'll see Ahsoka.
You do think we'll see Ahsoka?
Yeah, because Ahsoka's next, and that's what they're planning to. Yeah. They'll put Ahsoka in it to plant the seed to go watch Ahsoka.
So maybe the last episode or something.
Like they did with Boba. They put Boba in because we had Book of Boba.
So do you think we see Luke or no?
Not until season 4.
Okay. I don't know.
When Grogu turns down the armorer and he has to go to Luke to get the lightsaber.
I mean, Jon Favreau came out and said that, because Luke broke the internet, whatever, last year or 2 years ago at this point, I guess. But he said that there is something like that happening in season 3. So I don't know what
Jar Jar saved Grogu. We got it.
Jar Jar saved Grogu. So yes, so that broke the internet.
It broke my internet. Yeah.
It broke Charles's internet.
Dude, I was messaging Charles all day saying, "Have you watched Mandalorian yet? Have you watched Mandalorian yet? Have you watched Mandalorian yet?" And he says, "I'm actually watching it now." And I says, "I've got news for you. Are you ready? Take a seat. You might want to sit down for this. Jar Jar was the Jedi that saved Grogu." I've been waiting to tell you that all day, dude. And he was like, "Dude, dragons." I was like, "I don't care about dragons. It was Jar Jar."
Oh boy.
Ahsoka briefly, yeah. No, Kathleen Kennedy ruined any chance of a Boba season 2. Yeah. That should be a banned word on our live streams. Kathleen Kennedy.
That shows again. Just They do two good episodes, and Boba wasn't even in them. So it's actually cringy to watch episode 6 because they do go back to Boba at the end when Mando leaves, and then you get to see the
The throne.
no, what do we call them? We call them not TikTok Avengers was Willow. What do we call them? The biking gang. What do we call them?
Oh, I don't remember.
Not Backstreet Boys. I can't remember what we called them.
I'm not 100% sure. The biker gang.
Power that was something the Power Rangers or something like that. I don't know. We had the name. I can't remember what it was called now, but
we have to go back and watch them on the live streams.
Yeah, so something like the colorful Power Rangers or I don't know, whatever.
What? So, do you think we'll get Boba?
I don't know.
Do you think we'll get Luke?
I don't think we'll get Luke. I mean, here's the thing: if we get Ahsoka, we have a better chance of getting Luke than we do Boba. That's the way I look at that. If we get Boba, I don't think we get Ahsoka. I don't think we get both. Because I just don't see in 4 episodes left. You figure we'd have about what? Maybe 2 hours.
We have the Sky Pirates episode. Yeah. And then 3 more. Because we know we have the Sky Pirate episode. So
and I don't think and that's really the episode next week. It's just gonna be another filler episode to me. Unless something happens, but like, what's going to happen besides them killing these guys?
When is Star Wars Con?
What is what?
When is the con? The Star Wars Con?
April 6th to the 9th or something like that, maybe.
Okay. We are getting a trailer for Ahsoka at Star Wars Con. I don't think we'll get Ahsoka next week. We'll get her the week after because that will be the weekend before the 6th and the 9th.
So it's 6th and the 9th.
So I think we'll get one. So I think we'll get I think Ahsoka will appear in episode 6.
So so next week is what's the date next week? That's the 29th. Is 29th, and then Star Wars Celebration is the following Thursday. So that's
it'll be the 29th and the 5th. 29th and 5th, and then the 6th is the Star Wars Celebration. Because Mando's on Wednesday, remember?
Yeah, so the 5th. So you think the Wednesday before Celebration we get the Ahsoka episode?
Yeah, and then we'll get the Ahsoka trailer dropped at the con.
I mean, it would make sense for marketing, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think next week
kind of makes sense.
I think next week is the pirate episode, and then episode 6 will be Ahsoka, and then it will be the final 2 going into it.
Okay. Yeah. It kind of makes sense that they're gonna. Yeah. I just I'll be interested to see how they fit it in. I guess to this story, which the story right now is just I don't even know where we are. I guess there really is no story, honestly. Like we got some training, we got to see Bo-Katan, take up more of a leadership role. We got to see a flashback. I mean, beside that, where are we really headed? So maybe this is what episode 4. So maybe the second half of the season is something totally different. Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're doing 2 4-episode arcs. I mean, it's kind of like that, I guess. I mean, This is almost like a bridge type episode that can maybe lead us to somewhere else now. So maybe that's what we're doing. Maybe next week, maybe there's even like a 2-week time gap or time jump.
Eric says one of the clone troopers was portrayed by an actor who plays Boba Fett in last episode. So Tamara Morrison was one of the clone troopers.
Oh, was he really? Was he? I didn't see his name in the credits. At least maybe on IMDb, but I didn't see it on the TV because I always look at the credits to see who was in it.
And do they do this as a storybook? So they tell the story in these photographs, don't they? That we see at the end of every episode. They go back and make the show from those. But do they summarize the episode, or is that what they get given? They get given all this artwork of the way the storyline goes out, and then they have to go turn that into TV. That's why we get this shot of him with the rocks and stuff. And maybe that was all they said. Here's a shot of Grogu on the camp playing with crab rocks.
I think it's probably after it's written. It might be the storyboards they use, but they're just saying that this is what we want it to kind of look like, and then it's the job of the set
Okay.
design and all that. I don't. Yeah, I think it's more. I think it's more reversed than I think that's they tell them the story. They want to see what they come up with as far as like the set design, and that's what those images
Okay.
are for. I guess. I mean, I don't know for sure, obviously, but Robbie said I think episode 3 and 4 will be better after the next episodes. Hopefully. Like, I mean, I would love the next episode to like fill in everything that all these questions we have. Like, why don't we do an episode where maybe we get a little bit of where we're headed next with the main group, and then maybe we get one more flashback of Grogu. Maybe we go back to Persing. Let's close this up and kind of make it tight so it makes sense so we can move forward for the last 3 episodes. I wouldn't have a problem with that because, like Robbie said, it would make these last couple episodes a little bit better, I think. I just feel like we need more information at this point.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would love to have more information and answer the questions I have and credits on IMDb. Okay.
Yeah, makes sense. But
cool.
All right, cool, man. All right, everybody, we appreciate you guys hanging out. Oh man, I didn't even realize we were on for an hour and a half tonight. Yeah, so we'll be back on Sunday and then back on Ryan's channel on Monday. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do Last of Us. I might stream some Potter tonight. We'll see. If I do, it won't be for like another hour though. But we'll see.
We've got Horseman Tuesday night as well over on Jeremy's channel. He's hosting this week.
Yep.
And then the week after that, guys, you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss any week of the Horseman, but especially the next 2 weeks because Jeremy's hosting, and then I've got Johnny and D coming on as my guests.
That's right.
And a lot of people have been over on their channel, and a lot of people have been interviewed by them. So I don't know what questions we're going to ask them, but I'm sure we're going to have some fun. So it's going to be a great night.
Cool. And yeah, I'll be at Lexington Con with Randy, with BOP, a couple other people are going. So
I'm jealous.
I'm sure we're going to be taking. So, you know, if you're not subscribed, but if you're not hooked up with me on Instagram, I'm sure we'll be posting a bunch of pictures. And I've got a couple of video ideas that we're going to be doing that we'll be posting in the next week or so on that. So,
and you have to ask Warwick Davis. You genuinely have to ask him. If you don't, just put him on the phone to me and I'll ask him. I'll invite him on the channel.
I think I'm going to. I mean, worst thing he'll say is no, right? So yes, thank you, Robbie. Hopefully the old electric car gets me there and we don't have any problems because this will be the first time I got to charge it.
May the energy be with you.
Yeah, may the energy be with me. Yes, I think I'm good. I haven't mapped out. I think it's all right. We'll see. Maybe I'll make a short or something about it.
Did you put that in your video today when you said everything that you need and everything you don't need for Comic-Con? Did you put a fully charged car?
I did not put that in there.
Ah, you missed something.
I did miss. I did. And I after going back and rewatching it once it was live, I'm like, I forgot to say always have a nice, comfortable pair of shoes. But then you're also talking. This is the guy at San Diego Comic-Con. When you're walking in the same pair of shoes all day long, your feet kill you. Next day I wear flip flops because I need something totally different.
I wear Crocs 90% of the time, and anyway. Yeah, I wear Crocs 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Poppy Missouri says remember to ask his question. Was it as bad filming Willow as it was watching?
Oh wait, was it? It was was it something like it?
Was it as bad to film Willow as it was for us to watch it?
Was it as painful? Did he say? What was the word he said? I don't remember
like
now. Was it as painful to film it as it was to watch it, or something like that? He said, yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna say that to him, but
Poppy, if we can get him on the show, you can come and ask him that yourself.
We'll let you come on and ask him. That's right. After the entire interview first, though.
After the whole interview, we'll say we've got one friend who wants to come ask you one question.
Oh my gosh, dude. Dude, he would never. Oh my gosh.
I think he would. I think he'd stay. He'd laugh. He'd answer it off. I genuinely think you might be surprised by just asking the guy to come on our live stream what could come from it.
Yeah.
You know?
It would be hilarious, though. But all right. We are out.
My name's been Ryan. He's been Headless Ned Stark. Don't forget, check him out Sunday. Hit the like button, subscribe to both of us. And yeah, Headless can take us out.
All right. Take care, guys. Stay milky. Keep those heads on. And we're going to see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Peace.